Today's episode of Down to Earth Talk is sponsored by VOC Magazine, Voice of Champion. Visit www.vocmagazine.com to get your copy of the latest publication today. That's VOC Magazine, the Voice of Champions.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Facebook Live and YouTube as well. This is Down to Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap, and I am excited because it's Friday and we are down to earth with our conversation. I tell you, listen, we have a phenomenal woman of God that's here with us tonight. She's a woman of God. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's a philanthropist. She is a CEO. She's an author. She's a singer. She wears so many hats. Let me tell you about her. Listen, she's out here letting her voice be known in the world. I'm telling you, across the nations, across the globe, and she's doing it in a spirit of elegance. Oh, come on, somebody. None other than Kristle Shanell. She is phenomenal. Y'all, listen, you want to stay tuned on tonight because the things that we're getting ready to talk about, I'm quite sure each and every one of you on tonight can literally absorb something from what we're getting ready to speak. She have the Kristle Shanell show. She also hosts her own blog talk radio show and is hosted on AM and FM. She'll come back later and share that information. She is a dean. Her and her husband, watch this, they are dean of the School of Great Commission, a satellite branch in Gwinnett County. She's a Christian counselor. How many of you know in the day and time we living in that you need somebody? Everybody, watch this. I always say this: every pastor need a pastor, and every pastor need a counselor. So you need to know that. She also specializes in family mentorship. I'm telling you, she's a gospel singer. She have sung with legends. You all not hearing me. Watch this, Leandra Johnson, and that's just to name one. She's going to come back later on in the show, and she's going to give you all her information. But without any further ado, I bring at this time my very special guest, none other than Dr. Kristle Shanell. She is in the house on Down the Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap. Come on, let's welcome her as we bring her on tonight.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
What an introduction. What an introduction. I tell you what, going forward, I'm just going to make sure I come to you for all of my introductions going forward. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for that.
You are more than welcome. You are more than welcome. We're so honored to have you here with us, joining us on tonight. So we're just going to dive right in. Listen, when I was talking to Kristle, her and I began to talk about different topics because on here, it's not just centered around the gospel of Jesus, but it's centered around the conversation and issues that people don't talk about, that they just shun under the carpet. So tonight, guess what we're talking about? How to build sisterhood without being jealous. How to be a sisterhood without, watch this, competing. How to be a sisterhood without tearing one down and building up another. How to be a sisterhood without, watch this, other people turning away from you because of what somebody else said. So the topic is going to be hot. I'm quite sure in all the facets of life that we've embarked upon, that this is a conversation that is literally, it's a global topic. So here we are tonight, and I'm going to open up the floor with this question. At what point, Dr. Kristle, did you realize that you was actually even dealing with jealousy? At what point?
Wow. Well, let me say this. I am currently 40 years old, 40 years young, right? However, for the longest time, even when I was in high school, unfortunately, I dealt with jealousy and actually one particular person that wanted to bully me or tried to bully me. Okay. At that time, I was very quiet, down to earth, didn't bother anybody. But unfortunately, I had a lot of people that didn't like me. I was the most talented singer and most talented in my school. That's what they came out in the yearbook with. Okay, so I'm grateful for that title, being able to graduate being most talented. But at the end of the day, it started from high school, and then it just kind of dwindled on in my years of being in my 20s, my 30s, and now at the age of 40 years old. Unfortunately, I am not. God has given me the spirit of discernment, and I use that very wisely. And sometimes I see more than I think I need to see. So even yet to this day, unfortunately, I'm dealing with that. But at the end of the day, I always try my very best to continue to be humble and be the person that I have always been since I came from out of my mother's womb, right? But unfortunately, in the African American community, and not to say just our African American community, because I know there's other communities that may be dealing with the same thing, but I have found in our African American community, unfortunately, we are not happy for each other. Now, you may post something on social media and people may seem or act as if they are excited for you. And unfortunately, they're not. I put a post out about a week ago and I said, stop being professionally jealous of people. You understand? You dressed up in a suit, but at the end of the day, you're professionally jealous of people. So there's not enough of the organic and authentic relationships and sisterhoods that's truly out there. People are, and I get it all the time. For example, I have people that are on my Facebook page or my social media, Instagram, things of that nature. I see them all the time sharing other people's something as simple as a flyer, right? You see it 24/7. They're sharing all their friends, flyers, but every day you call me sis, but you don't share my flyer, right? So things of that nature, again, my spirit of discernment is extremely strong. So at the end of the day, I know who's for me and who's against me. So I just wanted to definitely talk about this topic because it is extremely important for us to do better in our African American community. We are all going to the finish line, right? It doesn't matter who finished first, as long as we all get there, right? As long as we all get there, we're all going to the finish line. It doesn't matter who finished first, as long as we all get there.
Let me tell you this. You said something so profound, and I have been saying the same thing for years. And at the end of the day, you see so much political Christianity on social media. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it
I'm
really
not
is.
sure. I got to the point, listen, sis, I got to the point where maybe I felt like if I wear my hair long and put on a wig, or I felt like you understand what I'm saying? I felt
Yes,
like if maybe my nails was befitting, or maybe if I looked the way or played the role, but that's not what God has called us to do.
that's
You
it.
have to be authentic in who you are in order for him to open the door or allow your gifts to make room for you.
That's
I have
it.
been saying this for so many years. How is it that I'm open and available to share people information, but when it comes down to mine, nobody wants to share my information? And
No,
just like you say, it's as simple as sharing a flyer. I can
you're
go to
right.
somebody else's page and push their, and listen to their recording. You saying the same thing
Yeah,
I just said on my page, but you act like you didn't create that. And I know
yes,
you did. But
yes,
I understand, and it's so unfortunate as women, and I just want to talk about us, that we yet say we on each other's side, but our tongue will
you're
literally
not.
kill you, or
That's it.
our tongue will slander you, or you can say things against your sister that literally will cause people that don't even know her to prejudge her.
That's
And
it.
that's what I'm finding a lot in this sector. And I'm trying to figure out, if we supposed to be helpers one to another, how is it that we're not trying to help bridge the gaps, even in areas where we're weak? So what is it that you think that we need to do at this point as CEOs and as entrepreneurs and as visionaries and as those that have talents and discernment? What do you think that we can now impute into the community as a woman to say, you know what, sis, we don't have to, break each other down, but how we going to literally build each other up. So what do you think that we can do? What are some of, the tools of development that we can use to get this done? Because what you're saying is absolutely true.
Well, first, it has to be within.
Ha!
If it's not within, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to come out. So at the end of the day, what's the scenario? You fake it until you make it.
Ooh.
If it's not within, it's not going to come out.
Ooh.
No matter how hard you try, unless God comes in, right? And at the end of the day, deals with that particular person to say, hey, this is what you need to work on. This is what you need to focus on. Unfortunately, everybody, they're not humble. Unfortunately, everybody is not genuine. Unfortunately, everybody is not organic. So if it doesn't come naturally, it may just never happen. Ooh. So the only thing it is for us to do as believers and women of God, right, is to continue to be the authentic individuals that we are. And then everything else is going to have to fall into place after that. So I don't know if we can say, let's list a tool, because if the tool is not within, it's not coming out. And one of my friends just said on social media, she said, action speaks louder than words. I see it all the time. I mean, again, I have so many different people that are supposedly friends, right, on Facebook, but it's the people that are closest to you, the ones that call you sister. And be careful who calls you sister, okay? Because even though they're calling you sister, that really doesn't mean a thing, okay? That's just a word that they're speaking out of their mouth. But at the end of the day, are you truly my sister, or are you that, again, professionally dressed up and professionally jealous, not knowing how I made it to where I am right now?
Exactly.
Right? You don't know the struggles.
You don't know the struggle.
You don't know the struggles.
You don't know the pain, the tears.
That's it. You don't know the struggles that I had to go through to get here. Okay.
Ooh, you said something again.
You don't know the struggles that I went through.
You see my story. You see outside, but you hadn't opened the book to read the pages. And that's so true. Somebody said, check your circle. It is so important. When you realize, watch this, when you realize that God have blessed you to accelerate and to advance, your circle start getting smaller anyway. People just start falling off and dropping off. I'm telling you.
Less than 5. I mean, I can count on one hand. Do you hear me? It's less than 5. And I'm the type of person, I don't let people get close to me. Okay. Right. Again, God has blessed me to have the spirit of discernment. So I know who's who before you know who's who. You understand?
Right.
And I've been blessed with a gift to be able to see things before it happens. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that has been something that God has given me since I've been a little girl, from elementary school on up. And yet to this day, at the age of 40, again, I'm able to see things before it happens. He showed me visions. He allows me to have dreams and different things of that nature. So I'm grateful for that gift. At the end of the day, I did not share that with a lot of people because people think you're crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with me. But my discernment is higher than the sky. Okay. So not too many people are in my circle. So if I call you my sister, you better believe you are my sister. If I tell you that you are my brother, or I call you my brother, you better believe that you are my brother, because nobody gets close to Kristle Shanell. Not too many people.
That's it. And you know what? And it's unfortunate, but we have to be that way because we have to guard what God has given us or graced us with, because you never know, watch this, where the dream killer or the dream stealer is. They want to come into your house and peep into your house and know what's going on in your house. And I'm talking about spiritual and natural, just to go back and begin to talk about it and share, if not steal it, because we got dream stealers as well. And at the end of the day, we should not be at this level based on maturity and everyone helping each other. And this is my thing. And this what bothers me the most. Black lives matter. How do Black lives matter
if we're killing each other?
when you're using your tongue as a weapon to destroy your sister
That's
that
it.
you call sister, or the one that you say you love, don't give me a Judas kiss. You can be in my circle and be Judas, but don't kiss me. I
That's
don't need you
it.
to give me the kiss of death. And a lot of times we give each other the kiss of death and go right back and say, girl, don't let her come. I have been told during the introduction, you know, a lot of people don't like you. This is an introduction before I preach. A lot of people don't like you. You know, you too cute, or you wear such and such. What does that have to do with
But what
anything?
that you're about
You
to
know
preach
what I'm saying?
about.
That's in your heart. So you've been feeling that way, or yet you've been thinking that, but you called me to preach. And listen, on the last night,
Wow.
she didn't even show up. She didn't even
Wow.
show up
The professional jealousy
because
kicked in.
I mean, girl, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So at this level and this place where we all supposed to be mature, because it's just time out for having a form of godliness and denying the power. I
That's
mean, if
it.
you're gonna be with me, be with me. Like Jesus now. If you're not gonna be with me, then I can deal with that. But don't try to act like or pretend that you're something that you're not.
That's
So
it.
how is it? And what you're saying is so powerful that at this point we need a level of discernment, and I thank God that he have given me the mantle of the prophetic, because just as you are, I am too. I can see before it even happened. I can
That's
see
it.
before, come on, I can even hear the conversation before you walk in my face or you call me on the phone. I've already heard what you said.
That's
Just
it.
because I don't say nothing to you doesn't mean I didn't hear you.
Hmm.
The Bible tells us that jealousy is as cruel as the grave. But my question is, I don't have a problem with giving another woman compliment. I don't have a problem. But guess what you said, woman of God? You said when you confident, or when you know, that's something within yourself.
That's
You
it.
got to learn how to deal within yourself,
That's
because if
self-love.
you not exactly,
That's
and if you
self-love.
don't know how to self-love yourself, then you're not gonna love nobody else. It don't bother me to say, girl, you know, you look good. I like those shoes, girl. Your hair is doing, you know, compliment each other. But this jealousy thing has got to stop.
It has to stop. And not only that, being jealous, being in competition. I'm not in no competition with nobody, okay? Not one person that's in my circle or that's on my social media outlet. I have no jealousy in my heart for anyone,
Come on.
because what God has for you is for you. What God has for me is for me. So therefore, again, like I stated before, you don't know the struggle that I had to go through to get to where I am. But I'm grateful for the struggle, because I am where I am because of those struggles.
Hey, that's awesome. We're going to go ahead and take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. You are stay tuned for Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap and my very fine guest, Kristle Shanell of the Kristle Shanell Talk Show. We'll be right back in a moment.
Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com.
And we are back to Down to Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap and my very fine guest, Kristle Shanell of the Kristle Shanell Show. She have a blog talk show as well. And the topic tonight is how to be authentic as sisters and not be jealous. We got to kill this spirit of jealousy.
Yes.
Let me say this, and this Down to Earth Talk. So that's what we do. We get, down to the real and the logistics of the thing. At this point of ministry, at this point of building entrepreneurship, at this point, how do we keep the relationship and not focus solely on the jealousy? Or do we destroy the jealousy and destroy this relationship at the same time? I mean, what do we do?
Number one, I think we need to be honest. A lot of people are not being honest with each other. in regards to, if I'm having a problem with you, then therefore I should come to you as the sister that you're supposed to be, or we're supposed to be to one another, right? And talk about what the issue is at hand. But a lot of times, some people don't want to have those heartfelt conversations
Mhm.
because they may get their feelings hurt. I'm one of those
Mhm.
type of people. I'm very vocal. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm very, very vocal. So what I have on my heart and what I have on my chest, it's not to necessarily hurt the individual, but I'm going to tell you what's on my heart and I'm going to tell you what's on my chest. So at the end of the day, we need to have more conversation. Um,
Mhm.
and not just over through text, because text can be misinterpreted in so many
Yes.
different ways. You can be saying I love you, and then at the end of the day, the person may think that you done cursed them out pretty much. You know what I mean? But they don't understand. The texting gets very confusing. So I would say have that face-to-face conversation. And now that we're having to do the social distance, even if it has to be through Zoom it, record it, send it to each other, whatever works, make it work. But sit down and have those authentic conversations and say, look, girl, look, boy, whoever you're talking to, look, my sister, my brother, I'm having an issue with you in this area. How can we work on whatever that issue may be at hand? And both individuals, because nobody's perfect, right? We're not just pointing the finger at one person, because they say when you point that finger at that particular person, then another finger points back at you. So therefore, but you still have to sit down and have those conversations with one another so that you're able to get past the jealousy, so that you're able to get past the competition. And unfortunately, if that doesn't work, I have a system which is called Control Alt Delete. Just like it's on the computer, you hit that Control Alt Delete, and that's it. And then I tell you, not only that, I have a block ministry, right? And my block ministry is very strong, okay? And then I'll come back with I have that no anointing. Because see, in the past, I used to say yes for everything. Girl, can you do this? Can you do that? Can I hold your car? Can you give me some money? Whatever the scenario was, right? I could not tell people no. So now my no comes with an anointing. Do you hear me? It comes with an anointing. But with all those three things in place, those are the tools right there, sis. Okay.
I love.
Use those tools and it'll get you where you need to be. It works for me.
When I tell you, I love that. Girl, when you said Control Alt Delete,
Control
what you
Alt.
said, a block Mitch, I can block you out. Listen, I have the invisible ministry. I can see you and not see you. I'm talking
Listen.
about walk straight past you as if you just don't, it's not even there. I have the invisible ministry on lock.
Listen, my mom, she fusses with me all the time, and my husband as well, because they say, Kristle, you just be blocking people. And I'm like, listen, I have no tolerance.
That's it.
I protect my peace, like Trent Shelton
Mhm.
say. I don't like
Yes.
drama. I don't like
Yeah.
foolishness. I don't like aggravation. I don't like stress. I have health issues, so I can't deal with stress. Stress is not good for me. Okay, it breaks my body down. So therefore, in order to protect my peace, Control Alt Delete.
I
Okay,
love it. And you
so
can't
it just
listen, you can have all the money in the world, but you can't pay for peace. I'm
you
telling
can't
you.
pay for
And
peace.
as you begin to mature, develop, grow, get older, you realize that nothing is more valuable than having just a calmness and a sense of peace. I
That's
mean,
it.
it's just, I'm telling you, I don't care. The lottery, it can't, babe, I'm telling you, nothing like peace. And I love that. Listen to me. Let me tell you about my experience with a young lady. I was working with her and we were
Okay.
hanging out every day. She was a new employee and I had been here at my job back then a few years. And, I thought we was just, being nice and cordial to each other. One day I went to work and it was crazy. This when I worked in collections. One day I went to work and I realized that my keyboard wasn't working. So I lifted up and it had all these fluids and stuff in it. And so after I actually left the job and I moved on to another job, she told me, she said, you remember the day that you needed to get a new keyboard? And I told her, yeah. And she said, I hold Coca-Cola in your kid. And I'm like, why would you do that? She said, because I felt like you didn't like me. I said, and I used to hang with you
Oh my
every day.
goodness.
I went to lunch with you you never know the people you are around and their thoughts are feeling towards you unless they tell you.
That's it.
That was I was blown away because I was just like, I never saw that coming at all. So when I tell you, you have to have a spirit of discernment, you have to have it.
You have to.
It is so necessary. And I tell my team all the time, listen, and this day and time that you living in, if you don't have discernment, then you're going to miss a lot of important things that you really need to see on your way through growth and development. Because if you don't have that, then the wisdom and the maturity level is not going to be there.
That's it. That's
At this point in time, I'm saying this: we got to stop the competition.
Mm-hmm.
If you preach better than me, pray better than me, then sis, go ahead.
That's it. Sing better than me. Whatever.
Why we just can't all get along and help one another build?
And the other thing is, for example, let's say I have events quite often, right?
Uh-huh.
So I used to have events all the time, but then when the pandemic came, of course, it shut it down. Just kind of started back up with the events. But long story short, just think about the African American community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, it may be your event, right? But I'm going to invite 10 people to come to your event. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to follow up with those 10 people to come to your event because you don't know who I invited. So therefore, unless I physically give you those names and numbers and those email addresses, then it's my duty to follow up with these people, those 10 people that I invited, and say, hey, we're going to go to Dr. Gilstrap's event. So me and those 10 people are coming. And then we have 20 more girlfriends, right? Or 20 more sisters, right? That do the same, right? So you know how many people that would be that actually physically comes to your event? Exactly. But I find out in our African American community, you want to hold your event, I want to hold my event, this one want to hold their event, and everybody has that opportunity and that right. But if we support each other and we bring each person is responsible for bringing 10 people, then we got a great turnout, right?
Exactly.
Versus one person being stressed out, we having to do all the work. You know what I mean? I'm following up with 50 people, people share different things on, like, say, for instance, the social media outlets and things of that nature, but we still have to do our due diligence with following up with whoever we invite. Exactly. But if we have 10 women bringing 10 people, then boom, you got to have a beautiful turnout. You got a beautiful number. So it's so many different things that we can do and put in place to incorporate and help each other as African American women, as a African American community. But it's up to the individual again to play their part. It's up to our sisters to play each other's part. Put yourself on a rotation calendar. Okay, Kristle Shanell going to have her event in January. Dr. Gilstrap going to have her event in February. Our next sister is going to have their event in March, right? And then everybody invite each other's friends to this particular event so it can be a success and everybody's successful. Again, like I stated earlier, we're all going to the finish line. It doesn't matter who finished first as long as we get there.
Exactly. That right there, that'll preach all by itself. And I've been saying that for such a long time, but for some reason, when I said everybody is very upset, but I'm saying something that actually makes sense to me, because if we sisters, then why, if I was in the world, it's easy for us to get together and have fun drinking and smoking and getting high and doing different things. Everybody coming. So why we can't have that same collaborative effort on this side? Why is it that you have to block me? It doesn't matter if your bishop is T.D. Jakes or if your bishop is John Eckhart. We still sisters. It doesn't matter if you flying over the world or if you have 1 million and I have 100,000. It's not about that. It's about the authenticity of what sisterhood actually should be defined as. And I need authenticity authenticity in my life, because if it's a sister circle for real, then we're going to watch this up, undergird each other, help support each other, just like you said, and we're going to bridge those gaps of weaknesses. So
That's it.
if I'm weak in areas of marketing, then you're strong, then step in. The Bible said iron sharpen iron. So why we cannot sharpen each other
Helping
in
each
these
other.
areas? Watch this. Why you gotta block me because you feel, I guess, again, let's go back to my hair not being long enough or my weave not being curly enough. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we're not intimidated by each other. What you think about this intimidation thing going on? We got to just, I'm telling you, move away from that.
Yeah, it amazes me. I mean, people are very strange. I just told somebody that a couple of days. I'm like, people are just strange, and right now people are going through so many different scenarios. I mean, you got people
Mhm.
that's going through stress, you got people that's going through depression, you got people that's going through anxiety. I mean, you never know what people are truly going through unless you sit down and have a conversation with them, right? Again, a text is always good to send here and there if you want to check on somebody if you're busy. But what happened to the pick up the phone the old school way and have that conversation to check up on each other? But it just amazes me. Every day I learn something new. Every day I just sit and I just be wondering, like, what are people thinking? What's really going on in people's heads nowadays? But the only thing you can do again is continue to be the you that you are and just keep it moving. Just keep it moving.
Yeah, we have to learn how to be confident in the skin we're in, for
That's it.
sure.
That's
Because
it.
if you're not confident in the skin that you're in, then a person would literally crush your confidence and cause you to establish low self-esteem, and it's unfortunate.
Exactly.
The word of God tells us be confident of this very thing, that he
Hmm.
which have begun a good thing. It's a good work. It shall be performed until the day of Jesus Christ. So if you don't know yourself, just like you said, that's an inner love. You got to love yourself internally. Do unto others as you should have others do unto you.
Do unto
Listen,
you.
that's the golden rule, but that rule don't apply to everybody.
That's it.
It's do unto me as I, you know what I'm saying? It's a selfish way now, and we
Hmm.
have to get out of being selfish.
Yes.
There's too many people that are selfish, only thinking or considering only themselves. It's bigger than that. This what's going on right now. If we don't come together now, we're going to miss what God is doing. My question is this, and it's not even my question, I guess it's more so a statement. If you jealous of me, or if you're envious of me, and we're supposed to be one body, how you think that Christ coming back from several different components and pieces, and we're supposed to be jointly connected and fitted together? He said, I'm coming back for one body, not more than one.
That's
So
it.
if you don't love my hair, if you don't love my skin, or you don't love the way I preach or the way I teach, or if you have a problem because I'm,
My
excelling and
success.
advancing, and we're supposed to be one body, then what God coming back for? It sounds like then we're gonna be left behind.
Going to be left behind. I'm sure many are going to be left behind, unfortunately. But we have to work on ourselves. What's within. Work on the inside, and then you can push out what is in the inside out, so that people are able to really connect with you the way that they should. But unfortunately, people need to just find, their purpose. A lot of times people are, it may not be their purpose. It may not be their vision. It may be somebody else's vision that they stole. But at the end of the day, they're trying to just listen. They're trying to just maneuver through it, just to feel like they're doing something, right? But again, what God has for you is for you. What He has for me is for me. Find your true purpose. Find
Exactly.
your true vision. Find your mission. What's your purpose? What does God have you here on this earth still yet today to do? Don't steal nobody else's dreams, or somebody then sit down and told you about all the things that they want to do, and then all of a sudden you pop up next week with all the things that the person then told you they wanted to do. I'm scratching my
Ma'am,
hair trying to understand.
ma'am,
I'm trying to
ma'am.
understand.
Ma'am, listen, we're getting ready to take a break at this time. We'll be right back with Down to Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap and our very fine host, none other than Kristle Shanell of the Kristle Shanell Show and Blog Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com.
And we are back with Down to Earth Talk with none other than Dr. Cint Gilstrap and my very fine guest, Kristle Shanell of the Kristle Shanell Show and Blog Talk Radio. Listen, we are in a topic that needs to be discussed. A lot of times women don't like to talk about it, but tonight we're talking about with real issues on Down to Earth, and we're making we're allowing our voices to be heard globally. So this is Down to Earth Talk. The topic of discussion, as we were sharing how to be authentic as it relates to sisterhood and not be jealous of each other. And it's just so amazing. I remember when I was about 4 years old, and this is crazy, 4 years old, I used to have girls back then. They used to just pull my hair. I had long, beautiful, thick hair, coarse hair, and it was down my back. And they used to pull my hair. So every day I came home crying. I was like, Mommy, they keep pulling my hair. They keep pulling my hair. So even in, back then, in certain ages, we've dealt with jealousy, and it's so unfortunate. We're at a time now, again, if we don't collaborate and come together, then we're going to miss what God is doing. It's not about how powerful you are, because when he come back, your gifts are going to mean nothing. You speaking in tongues are going to mean nothing. What you drive, where you live, it means nothing to God. But if we all work together, just like the school says, we'll be able to perform the Great Commission. What is the Great Commission? To make disciples out of men. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So someone, Kristle, that have dealt with jealousy all their life, they're wounded, they're hurt, they don't want to go forward, now having suicidal thoughts. What are your suggestions, or what type of encouragement would you give them at this time?
Well, and I just want to piggyback on what you said earlier in regards to, for example, your hair being pulled at the age of 4, right? Even when I was in high school, and this particular person that was trying to get everybody, different people to fight me for no reason. I mean, of course, I kept to myself. I wasn't bothering nobody. I didn't talk about nobody. But unfortunately, that person lost their life at a very young age. You understand? And I just said to myself, I said, God, it's amazing how, people treat people. But I mean, they didn't have an opportunity. I'm trying to think, even if they even graduated from high school. I can't remember. I don't even think they graduated from high school. It's been so long ago. But long story short, they lost their life at an early age. So we have to be careful about what we do to one another. The things that we say, the things that we speak. And again, I'm very vocal, so sometimes I have to, pop myself in the mouth or whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody is perfect, but we do strive for perfection on a daily basis. So whatever area that you may have a struggle in, then the only thing that we can do is continue to try to make changes on a daily basis, to make adjustments and try to do better. But for that particular person that may be experiencing someone being jealous of them right now in this season, I would say stay encouraged. Okay, put your black girl magic on and stay encouraged. Okay, do what you need to do for you. Of course, focus on your self-care, focus on your self-love, focus on your mental health. Because a lot of times, what people may say, unfortunately, we may think in some cases we're extremely strong. But at the end of the day, those thoughts may sometimes come and, whisper in your ear. Okay, that person said this, that person said that. So stay encouraged. I would say, let your haters be your motivators. That was what you say on the radio air, right? Let your haters be your motivators, and just continue to climb for that success that God has told you that he's going to give to you. What God has for you, it is for you. What he has for me, it is for me. Stay encouraged, sis, and just walk in your black girl magic.
I love that. I love that. Listen, I could have went out with a bang on that one. It's so many women now, and just as I asked that question, there's so many women that are walk in fear each and every day
Yeah,
because they don't want to be talked about, because they don't want to be criticized or ridiculed, because watch this, they don't have what the next person has, so they
it
just sit
doesn't
down on
matter.
their gifts. It doesn't matter.
It
Make a
doesn't
difference.
matter.
You talking about high school? Let me tell you. Let me take you back to my high school experience. It was so crazy. I moved in a different area because my mom went through a divorce. So we moved into a different area away from where I originally grew up. So in the area, I was the new kid on the block. When I tell you, everybody at first they was, hey, how you doing, you so cute, you nice, we want to talk to you, hang out with you, to we gonna beat you up, everybody in the neighborhood, every girl in the it was so crazy. I couldn't go to
Unfortunately.
the store, I couldn't walk, and I'm a teenager, I couldn't walk outside. And just one day, because I was a cheerleader in school, I went to the football game, and they left their side, came to our side just to look for me. And I had broke my arm, and my mom came to the game. She said, I told you not to come to this game. They were waiting to fight me while I was walking to the bus to get on. It was so crazy. So when I tell you,
That spirit of
um,
jealousy is real.
jealousy is real, and a
Hmm.
lot of people even now still deal with the fear of jealousy, like they don't know how to get past it. And just like you
It's
said, that's a
unfortunate.
mental thing. You
Yeah,
got to learn how to forgive your haters and make your haters your motivators, just as you said, and keep
that's
moving,
it.
because
That's
what
it.
you will not do is stop me from achieving my goals because of jealousy.
That's right.
Hinder me from being obedient to the voice of God, stopping me from living my dreams, walking in my greatest triumphs. You're not going to do that. So
That's
we
it.
tonight came to encourage you and to break this spirit of jealousy.
That's
If
it.
you had to say something to the young girls to encourage them and to motivate them to stay focused, and even with dealing with what you call preteen relationships,
Oh yeah.
because there's a lot of young girls dealing with preteen relationships, how would you encourage them to stay focused on what their goals and dreams are at a young age, and not to get so caught up to the with the guy to the point where you lose what your dreams actually are?
Oh boy. Now I'm telling you what, that's a show for another night. But can I say, let me raise my hand, as a teenager, those words on what you just stated was extremely powerful. Um, at the end of the day, for that particular teenager or teenagers that is dealing with a situation like that, I'm going to definitely use the word that you said, stay focused. At the end of the day, it's so easy to let these little boys whisper these little sweet songs in your ears, right? That you're so blind that you can't see anything beyond what's between their legs. Okay, let me just be honest. Okay, because even when I was in high school, I couldn't see what was beyond that particular thing. Okay, and at the end of the day, if I could hit rewind, I would, but unfortunately what has been done has been done.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
you definitely have to stay focused. You have to stay encouraged. Try to put yourself, again, think about what is your purpose. What does God have you here for? Whether or not, I know at that age a lot of the teenagers like to do hair, some of them like to be fashion designers and all that kind of stuff. Think about your career, think about your success, because it's so easy to lay down with someone or lay down with these little boys. Unfortunately, they get you pregnant, and at the end of the day, guess what? They don't got you to think about. They done moved on to Suzanne when you're still with the baby in your stomach. Okay, you ain't even delivered a child yet, and they with the next woman or the
Mhm.
next girl. So I would just say stay encouraged, focus on your success, focus on your career. There's so much and so many, there's you have time, I would say, to focus on that particular relationship, or as you get a little bit older where you're a little bit more mature, you can focus on having a true, authentic, organic relationship, because a lot of times at that age it's called puppy love. We go through those
Mhm.
puppy love stages,
Exactly.
okay? And at that
Exactly.
time, who you meet in high school, it's not always a guarantee who you're going to be with, 10 and 15, 5 years from now. So put on your black girl magic and focus on yourself and just continue to be successful. Try to be around positive people as much as you can, positive friends as much as you can, and truly evaluate. And like someone said, really focus on who's in your circle. If you got that sister or that girlfriend that likes to go to the club every weekend, that might not be the right person that you need to be around. Okay, let's just be honest. Let me raise my hand. We all been there, done that. Okay, been in the clubs, things of that nature. But in this season, where we're at this very day and hour, there's really no time for that, because there's too much happening in the world. There's too much happening in the atmosphere. At the end of the day, people are going to clubs and sometimes they don't make it out
No.
because there's a shootout or whatever the case is. What's the purpose? I'm not going to lose my life over something, or for someone just having a bad day and just coming into the club and decided they want to shoot up the club for that particular night. It's not worth it. So stay at home, find you some things to do, invite some girlfriends over, y'all, order pizza, order some chicken wings, and sit at the table, at the round table, and think about your true purpose. Put together a plan. Okay, what's the plan? Okay, if you want to start a radio show, if you want to start a talk show, y'all sit at the round table and talk about that thing. Who's going to be the producer? Who's going to be the bookkeeper? Whatever that scenario may be. Take your time and your energy and focus on that. The man will come, the boy will come, that time is going to come. And also just be extremely safe and extremely careful, because there's a lot of African American people, unfortunately, that are dealing with so many different STDs. Okay, and if you put yourself out there, you're going to get what you put out. So you have to just be very careful in that area as well. Protect yourselves, you guys. Of course, the Bible says, to not have sex until you get married. But let's just be real. There's a lot of us, before we got married, that were doing things that we should not have been doing before marriage, right? But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're covered and we're protected in that area.
That's awesome. You share so many vital components, and it's just needed. It needed to be. This needs to be said. But my last question, I think that I want to dive into, is as adults, and the Bible says that if you have an alt, that you are to go to that individual at this point,
That's it.
knowing that someone is jealous. Would it be wise to approach them to discuss the matter, or would it be wise just to leave it alone?
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, again, I'm vocal. You know, and at the same time, it depends on if you really want to be bothered. If you
Mhm.
don't care 2 cents about the relationship or the friendship or the sisterhood or the sistership, then I would say leave it alone. If
Mhm.
you feel like, okay, this is a possibility that me and this person, will be able to, move forward, but we need to have that conversation, then have the conversation. I can't just say, what may work for you may not work for me.
Right.
Again, my control, alt, delete, block ministry, things of that nature. I just don't have time. My patience is just -0. Okay. So at the end of the day, what works for me may not work for you. But what I can say is that a
I
lot of
love that.
times God will show people if someone have done you wrong and
Mhm.
they true have some type of heart, even if it's a half a heart, okay?
Right, right.
God is going to show that particular person or persons what they've done to you.
Exactly.
And that person or
Exactly.
persons will come back to you and share that with you sooner or later. You understand? So at the end of the
Mhm.
day, um, if you have a problem with someone, if you feel the relationship can be worked out or the friendship can be worked out, have that conversation. And once you have that conversation, right, just move forward. You know, just pray for me in that area, because again, I'm just trying to people tell me, Chris, you just cut people off, and I'm trying to work on that, because at the end of the day, sometimes people just don't know unless you really sit down and have that authentic friendship relationship and conversation with them and say, hey, you did this wrong, or this wasn't right, but I wanted to come to you as your sister and tell you that you didn't handle this the right way. And if they take offense to it, then I'm sorry. It is what it is.
I can't necessarily say, watch this, you cutting them off. They cut themselves off because
Hey,
watch this, we give them a rope to hang themselves. It's
that's
not
it.
that you wasn't part of my circle, it's that you chose no longer to be.
That's
Therefore,
it.
when you decide to betray me and you gave me the kiss of Judas, then you hung yourself.
Mhm.
Exactly. And you cut yourself off. So, I remember a story was being told to me when everybody came into class, the professor said, everybody have an A. Everybody in this class have an A. You have an
I
A.
love
You got
it.
an A. So it's up to you how you maintain your A. That's
Right.
all he said. So throughout the class, guess what? They decided not to come to class, not to turn in the work. And at the end of the semester,
They got
everybody
an
wanted to know what happened to our A. No,
A.
you didn't
Mhm.
show up when you're supposed to show up. You didn't
That's
turn in
it.
your assignment when you were supposed to turn in your assignment. So therefore, your A went to an F. I'm going to give you what you need in order to hang yourself. Because
That's
what
it.
you're not going to do to around here is you're not going to literally spread the poison of jealousy.
That's
Because as
it.
women, we should learn how to work together. Because if I can encourage you, then encourage me. We're not going to have a one-sided relationship. I don't
That's
need you to
it.
just tolerate me. If I can't be all the way in your life, in your circle, then I don't want any of it. Because guess what? I was spoiled when I was a child, so I had what I wanted. But at the end of the day, if that's how God treats me, I'm not going to allow someone else to treat me any lower than that. Don't devalue who I am as a woman
That's
because you're
it.
dealing with jealousy that's undefined, or you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you're jealous. And the reason that you're jealous, watch this, Kristle, the reason they're jealous of you because your potential. You
That's
40
it.
years old, you have so much greatness that's on the inside of you, and you have so much more to give, more developing to do. And you just watched it, you hadn't even a peek on what God is really getting ready to do in your life. Therefore, why
Amen.
you jealous of my potential? You jealous of me because I keep getting back up. You jealous because when you thought that I was crippled or when I was lame that I was gonna stay in my stoop or in my
Come
stomach. You
on.
thought that I was gonna lay down and die, and you had already started. Watch this. My
Planning the
eulogy.
funeral.
You had already put me in the newspaper and had my obituary already
That's
written.
it.
Oh, y'all ain't saying
The
nothing. You had
devil is a lie.
already put your foot on my neck because you felt like that I was never going to recover from everything that you did to me, everything that you
Mm.
said, all the knives you
Come
stabbed
on.
in my back, all the slander, my name that you dragged, everything that you said. You thought that I wasn't going to survive, but baby, my God got that snapback.
That's it. Or that you thought to yourself. You may not even have shared it with anybody, but it's in your mind.
It's in your mind.
It's
That
in your
means that it's
thought.
a seed. Ooh!
That's it.
You allow, you allow that seed to fester in your mind and act like nobody knows. God knows all things, but more than anything, just like you said, He gave you the spirit of discernment, and
That's it.
discernment will allow you to speak or to hear the thoughts of other people,
That's
especially
it.
that intention towards you. I'm telling you tonight, I have thoroughly
Oh
enjoyed
God.
this conversation.
Same here.
And it is not, it's time to come together. All of the foolishness, like I
We
tell
need to
people all
stop.
the time, you don't have time for this foolishness. You don't know if you're going to be dead today or tomorrow.
The
You
next
don't know
second.
when your time.
The
That's
next
it.
second.
You have no idea. You
Yeah.
have no idea. So why not take advantage of the seconds that we do have? And you
Jesus.
said that so precisely. The next second, you have no
It's
idea.
not
If God
time.
decide, if God decide to hold His breath, you're gonna be out of here
That's
just
it.
like that. He
That's
said
it.
a blink or a twinkle. What's a blink or
Of
a
an
twinkle?
eye.
You don't have time. You don't have
That's
time for
it.
anything. So why not do what needs to be done now? You don't have time to be jealous. That's too much time. Stop stealing time. You wasting time for no reason.
That
You
you're not
can
gonna
never
get
be
back.
right. Come on, you can never be Kristle. You can never be Kristle Shanell. You can never be you. And
That's
God,
it.
when He created you, He broke it. That's it. I just want one. That's all I want.
Uniquely designed.
Come on. I'm talking about authentic in who you are. When He began to paint you the canvas that He used to paint you, you can't duplicate it. Can you duplicate my Monet? You
That's
cannot
it.
duplicate it. You can't, no one can duplicate because they don't know the tears, the pain, the hurt, the sorrows. They don't know the hidden prayers. They don't know you walking almost about to lose your mind, your affliction, your persecution, your disappointment. And yet, watch this. Can they handle it?
My God.
You make it look good, but can they handle it?
My God.
Can they handle what you've been through? Can they handle what you're going through? Can they handle who you are? Can they handle it? So it has been a hot topic on tonight. It has been a hot topic.
I was not expecting for you to mess up my Mary Kay makeup, okay? Let me tell you. Oh, God. My God, today.
Girl.
We better get off of this air, honey. Let me tell you.
That is awesome. Let me tell you, thank you so much for joining this hot topic. I'm telling you, this jealousy thing has got to stop. Authenticity, if you're a real sister, then be a real sister. If you don't want to be a real sister, then don't be that. But what you're not going to do is continue to be fake, because I'm in the calling out season. This is my season to call you out. Let me listen. I'm calling you out. If it's a spirit, it's a spirit. And what we will not have is a jealous spirit around us, because we have too much to do for the kingdom in order to deal with jealousy. You got, I think it was a sermon by Jamal Bryant. He said that you a millionaire and I hadn't arrived and you jealous because I'm on my way. Why are you mad? Because you already a multi-millionaire. What you jealous about? You already have a Rolls Royce. Come on.
How much more money do you want is the question. And not only that, are you giving back to the community? There's so many homeless people on the streets, right?
Exactly.
There's prostitutes on the street. I mean, how are you giving back to the community? Exactly. Are you just saving all the millions for yourself? Or for your family when you die? Exactly. Yeah, I don't understand it. People are just strange.
I'm telling you. It has been amazing. It has been amazing. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this topic of discussion. I'm telling you, we need more of the reality TV, and we really do, because dealing with hidden issues is not going to help us heal as women. A lot of healing that we need to do, because it's evident based on the jealousy and the competition. We can work together as a team, but there's no I in individual and team. And when Christ come back, he coming back from one body. Like I said, I might not be the arm, you might be the fingers, the legs, the toes, but he coming back for one. He not coming back for all this division and denomination. So thank you so much, Kristle. It's been phenomenal. I love this type of talk. I'm telling you, we get real on Down to Earth. We never know how God gonna do things. We never know what's going to be said. But I tell you, at this time, before we close out, you've been phenomenal and amazing. I want you to share your contact information, especially those that are dealing with fear and phobia as it relates to jealousy and as it relates to being bipolar, dealing with, what do you call it now? Depression. That's everybody. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I want you to share all of your information so they'll have a means of contacting you, especially for the Christian counseling.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to come on your show and talk about this topic that needs to be talked about pretty much every day, right? And then also just want to say thank you for allowing me to be one of your magazine models. I am just super excited about that. So thank you for that opportunity. For those that are listening, the best way to contact me would be on my social media outlets, of course, Kristle Shanell or the Kristle Shanell Show, whichever way you want to contact me. It's on all social media platforms the same way, Kristle Shanell or the Kristle Shanell Show. Also, you can visit my website, which will actually, I'm doing some construction on the website, but it is up and running. However, it'll be completely done in about 2 weeks. But that is thekristleshanellshow.com. Also, you can find me on Blog Talk Radio under Blog Talk Radio / The Kristle Shanell Show. And I am also on AM and FM radio stations in South Carolina, Augusta, and the surrounding areas. That is under WJBS 1440 AM radio station, as well as 96.9 88.1 FM radio station as well. I am also available for anyone that is in need. Myself, my husband, who is a minister of God, but at the end of the day, he as well as myself, and we do have other people on our platform and on our team that will be able to assist anyone that is in the need of counseling. A lot of times we like to sweep things underneath the rug as our African American community. And unfortunately, it's so much that needs to be talked about. We are holding on to things that happened to us at the age of 5, at the age of 3. And we're in our 40s, our 50s, and our 60s, and we still have those things on our chest. We're still holding on to unforgiveness, things of that nature. But our target and our focus is trauma, addictions, depression, anxiety. A lot of women are going through postpartum depression. That is, of course, another thing that we target. Grief, marriage counseling, different individual counseling, couple counseling, things of that nature, and also PTSD. Believe it or not, I am a survivor of PTSD. At the end of the day, a lot of people would not know that unless I share that. I'm very, very honest. I'm always upfront and honest. But people don't know what you go through, the trauma that you have gone through and you have experienced. So therefore, how can you be a counselor if you have not experienced anything to be able to assist that person from whatever they may be going through?
Exactly.
So a lot of these things that I have already shared with you on exactly what we're able to assist with, those are all the things that I've gone through. So at the end of the day, I am here for you. If you are in need of assistance, please feel free to reach us on the website or inbox me on any of my social media platforms, or you can call me directly at 770-715-7949. Again, that number is 770-715-7949. And I'll be here waiting and willing to help in any way I possibly can.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your information. You have been
Absolutely.
phenomenal, and I thank you for being so open and down to earth on the real issues of us dealing with jealousy. I'm telling you, it's time for true sisterhood to come forward, and that's what I'm looking
Absolutely.
for. I'm real all day, just like you said yourself. I'm very outspoken. A lot of my sons and daughters say, "Ma, I can't believe you said that." Well, I said it.
I'm telling you.
So I'm telling you, because if I don't keep it real with you,
Who
then
will?
the world, you're not going to be able to handle what goes on in the world. And
Because
what
it's
I
too much
realized,
deceit
I'm
out
telling
there.
you, what I realized as since I've been in church for 28 years, what I realized is that it's easy for me to know the world system because they just let you know who they are. But
That's
when you
it.
come to church, they'll throw the rocks and hide their hand and
That's
act like
it.
they didn't do anything, say anything, and they're just as innocent. But the devil is a lie. I don't care how anointed you are, you still need to check yourself, analyze yourself, evaluate yourself, and look in the mirror. Because everyone, just like you said, there's no perfect person. There's no perfect person. The
That's
Bible says
it.
we ever learning and coming into the knowledge. So with that
Daily.
being said, you have been phenomenal. You have
Thank
been
you.
amazing. Thank you for the discussion and the topic on tonight. I'm so
Absolutely.
honored that you graced us with this on this platform because I know you are so busy. So I'm so appreciative of
Thank
your
you.
time. I never want to be a time stiller. I'm so grateful again and humbled at the same time. Again, next Friday, we come back with Apostle Angelo Swenson. He will be with us on Down to Earth Talk at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all tune in because we'll be talking about global ministry, being how to travel and do different things from nation to nation, from
Yes.
region to region, and it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, I am an international traveler, so I've been to certain continents, and that was my ministry before COVID hit. And then what happens in the midst of COVID when you are not able to travel the way that you have been accustomed to in the
Yeah.
past. October the 16th in Atlanta, Georgia, we will be having the conference Empowerment Revival. I'm not a diamond, I'm a ruby. To get in is only $10. We're having a buffet. We're going to have a full day. It's going to be phenomenal. The platform is full. I'm telling you, power pack. We have women that have survivor stories of domestic violence. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I'm telling
Amen.
you, the story stories are going to be amazing. I want you all to be there. I'm telling you, show up and show up ready. You might have to bring a box of tissue, but I still want you to show up. I'm going to close it out at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to have a phenomenal time October the 16th in Atlanta, Georgia. With that being said, again, this is Down to Earth Talk, and my very fine guest, none other than Kristle Shanell of the Kristle Shanell Talk Show, as well as Blog Talk Radio. I'm so honored. I'm appreciative, and thank you so much. Until next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. Thank you for joining us on Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. Have a wonderful night.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. This episode is brought to you by VOC Magazine, Voices of Champions. If you would like to be a sponsor or advertise on this show, visit www.cgmenterprises.com for more information. Dr. Cint Gilstrap presents Down to Earth Talk, conversations that inspires, educates, and are thought-provoking. Don't miss Down to Earth Talk, streaming live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. It's Down to Earth Talk with Dr. Cint Gilstrap. For more information how you can be a guest on Down to Earth, simply visit www.cintgilstrapministries.com.